Good evening and welcome back. I'm Teddy, and you are listening to Night Talk. So grab a glass of wine, tea, coffee, whatever. Right now, I have a bottled water. hmm Shout out to the mob. All my other bears I call the grizzlies and the honey bears. Okay, so I was supposed to start at 9:15, and you can see that I changed the time. I got a phone call and had to deal with that. All right, so tonight we are live on X and Instagram. Okay, hang on. And yes, Rip Runners. Don't forget about that channel. I see Vicky Black, Baby Juju, Love Wins, Junebug, Joanne. Yes, you can support this channel by hitting the like. Let me see who might be. You know what? I should go ahead and make Facebook Live too. Let's do that. All right, so let's just get down to it. All right. So, I've been going through these videos. I've been going through the Surviving Nosy Whole Life videos. hmm Kind of going back to the beginning, and I told you I'm looking for some new elements, maybe some things that are contradictory or other things, okay? And I said that I would be using AI in the future, hmm maybe to break down some of these videos. That will take time because what I have to do is get the transcripts, all right? But what I've done is taken a monologue from certain videos that I've listened to here recently. So, for example, the one where she talks about, and she being D for Danielle, created a video talking about Nosy Hole Live and Costco Girl. Okay. So I took a portion of that monologue and I ran it through AI to get the impression of the video. All right. The monologue. And I'm going to share with you what AI seemed to have found. hmm And discuss it with you. And I will be doing this periodically with some of the monologue because I think it's really interesting and I think you will find it interesting as well. Mhm. Does that sound like something you'd like to hear tonight? hmm Also, you can email me at unwinewithteddy@gmail.com. Okay. It's fair use commentary. It won't be anything that Danielle can strike. I'm going to keep up my, just like you have it here, just like you see it, or other memes or that do not belong to her. Also, as far as analyzing or looking at old videos, I can do that. I can, quote, that's fair use. All right. I'm not going to be playing her videos on this channel. I'm not going to be playing her videos on X or Facebook or Instagram, because I'm already experienced with her striking those channels. Okay. I've told you about rip runners, but that's quick, right? It's a snippet and then I take it down. It's important for you, my listeners who want to hear the receipts, to follow me on Stationhead. Follow me on Stationhead. Follow Unwind with Teddy. And there is another Stationhead that I haven't told you about. I haven't. It's D for Danielle. So again, I'm reserving certain social media sites, I'll just say. These are not fake social media. I'm telling you right now what the names are. So this is not anything fake. All right. It goes along with the channel names that I already have. But I received an email from someone who said, it's really important that we listen to hear those receipts. It is. Because if I'm going to be breaking down these videos along with the use of technology, AI, then you need to also hear what she said. So then you don't think that I'm making this up, making up monologue, making up things that she's saying. I'm not going to do that anyway, but there might be some skeptics out in the audience who are listening who may accuse me of doing so. In that way, I want to make sure that I, have receipts. Okay? And that by doing this, it would be more unbiased. Yeah. Because AI is smarter than I am, smarter than a whole lot of people. Yeah. Yeah. So why don't I'm going to let's just do this. Do you hear music in the background at all? Let me put my headphones on. If you do, now I hear it. It should be very low. Okay. Facts. Let's see. It's not me. Bless. Spirit. I see you. Okay. So let's just jump into this. This portion of this monologue. So Danielle starts off her video, this one about Nosy Hole Live. And she starts off by saying that in this video about Nosy Hole Live, and she puts up images, all right, some are blurred, and she says that I'm about to show are proof that Nosy used Costco girls situation for clout and coins. Okay. So I take in the monologue, the beginning of that, all of it. Mhm. And put it through. And this is what the results are, right? This monologue goes all the way through where she talks about by dirty, meaning attacking innocent people that don't have anything to do with YouTube beef. All right. Again, this is monologue from Danny Robertson, directed at Nosy Hole Live, whom she calls Carol. Okay. AI says it's an emotionally charged, full of accusations where she attempts to have moral high ground, rationalizations of retaliation, and branding her, Nosy Hole Live, as a danger to others, especially Black women. So here's how it was thoroughly broken down in this section. So we'll call it Costco Girl and alleged clout chasing. Okay, so the main claim that Daniel argues is that Nosy Whole Live used a viral story, Costco Girl, not out of concern, but to gain subscribers and clout. She starts off this video with this argument that Nosy Hole Live is making this story viral, not because she's concerned about this young girl, but she's doing it to gain subscribers and clout chasing. Right? So, what evidence does she provide that shows it? So, she lists multiple tweets where Nosy Hole Live, and she uses these references in her YouTube live stream, updates about the girl. She shows links to her YouTube in her bio. And then she asks followers, she being Nosy Hole Live, to help her hit a subscriber milestone that's 35,000. All right. While using the hashtag Costco Girl. Okay. Technically, it's an accurate observation. However, it's emotionally framed. Mhm. Nosy Whole Live did promote her live streams. Yeah. She did mention subscriber goals and tag the viral story. That's not uncommon for content creators covering hot topics, especially if they are they broke or they're popularized, yeah, the story. But Danielle positions it as exploitation rather than what a typical influencer or content creator behavior would be. I mean, think about that for a moment. What other content creators or influencers do you know that don't promote their live streams? Mention goals and tag the story or a viral story. So that's not uncommon. But it was framed, this is AI, framing for malice, because in Daniel's phrase, or Danny's phrase, quote unquote, I can't make this up, folks, and make it make sense, it frames Nosy whole life as self-promotion, as morally corrupt and opportunistic. Here's something. It's called contradiction / double standard risk. Okay. So here's a question. If Danielle has ever shared her own channels, videos, or links while discussing hot topics or controversies, which she has, this argument becomes hypocritical. Next, clout versus coverage. The term clout chasing in this video, or how it's used here, is to delegitimize Nosy Whole Life's motivation, suggesting she didn't care about the girl, just the attention. But that's a subjective judgment, not something proven by linking to her own YouTube. Again, you can take, well, you can't, not unless you have the videos. And I'll let you hear some of this, not on this channel tonight, but I'll let you know. And we'll come back to this so that you can hear it for yourself. That it's subjective judgment, not something proven. I'm going to pause right there for just a second because I'm not looking at the chat, and I probably should put the chat up. Maybe I should do that. And that way I can, where I see on air, I can also let you see the chat, and I could see it as well. Now, give me a second. Let me put on one song, and I will see if I can do this. Trust me, it gets better. Can you read those okay? Or do I need to make it like that? I could. Is that better? Give me a thumbs up if that's good. Let me put my headphones. All right. So we'll keep it up like this. And I can read the comments and you can too. Let's take Night Talk. Well, let's do this. Change that banner to fair use commentary. Well, let's thin it down. I have fair use commentary going across the bottom. Okay? So I think that's just fine. If you are just now joining me, welcome to the Bear Cave. This is Night Talk, and I am reviewing one portion of a series of videos that were created in 2021. This particular one had to do with Costco Girl and clout chasing. The premise of Danielle's argument against Nosy Hole Live and this Costco Girl. Okay. Also, with the use of AI to help analyze and break down Danielle's monologue. Okay. So let's go back to this. See where I left off. Oh, I was just going to look at, see if there are any comments. What's very low? I hope the music. I'm just going to leave on what I was just playing. Thank you. Take your time. I see Mimi, Twin, and Annette over there on Instagram. Okay, let's go. Get back to. Then, after that particular dialogue or section of her video as she starts off, then she abruptly shifts from Costco Girl to a highly personal, emotional attack on Nosy Hole Live, accusing her of the following: harassment and doxing, including children, friends, church members, etc., targeting successful Black women out of jealousy or self-hate, playing victim while being the aggressor, deserving what she got, implied retaliation and her YouTube being taken down. Danielle also accuses her of being demonic, mentally unstable, and a race play ex-worker. Okay, so let's see what the analysis of the rhetoric and psychology of this is. According to AI, looking at the tone and emotion. The tone escalates quickly. What starts as social media criticism turns into a scorched earth moral crusade. She calls herself Nosy's worst enemy, labels her as a demon, and openly expresses joy in seeing her punished. She also talks about justification of harm. Danny, this is AI, repeatedly says she doesn't feel bad for Nosy and rationalizes retribution as a form of justice on behalf of dozens of innocent women. She implies that retaliation, possibly including doxing, reporting, or public shaming, is fair game because Nosy deserved it. She appeals to respectability politics. Danielle uses her credentials as a professional, educated, and accomplished Black woman as moral capital to discredit Nosy and elevate herself as the more legitimate voice. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. Victimhood inversion, it's called. She frames herself and others of Nosy's behavior, flipping the script by saying Nosy is the true bully and that her downfall is just karma. Contradiction alert. Danny says Nosy is gaslighting and pretending to be the victim, yet her own speech drips with vengeance, projection, and emotional volatility. She mocks Nosy's pain and tears by saying, F your tears, while insisting on her own and others' right to be angry and retaliatory. So, what are the themes here? What are the themes? Well, we know that Danielle herself said she came for revenge. Mhm. If you've ever seen the videos and you've seen clips and posts, then you can recall either memes that would signal that in the beginning it was very apparent the vengeance. All right. So, this revenge rhetoric, and let's go back to AI, says that Danny openly says payback is a B. Now, she has used that against me. She used the same phrase, payback is a B. All right. She uses it here with Nosy Whole Life, and that she gave Nosy Whole Life a taste of her own medicine, quote unquote. She suggests others who were involved in defending Nosy Whole Life had felt her wrath. What is the implication here? This may be construed as targeted harassment or even cyber retaliation. It hints at vigilantism outside of platforms, policies, or legal recourse. Well, we know that she said when she came that she was a bully and that she bullied the bully. Okay. She made no apologies for that. It's in her videos and threaded throughout. But again, I'm allowing this time to go through these videos, and I haven't really, but I thought, okay, let's, technology is available. Let's see some unbiased, and you can put some of this through yourself. Danny uses dehumanizing language. This is AI. This is AI. Calling Nosy a demon, a race play hooker, and unworthy sympathy is deeply dehumanizing. Mhm. I'll just say this. It is a common theme and tactic that before I've used AI, I've talked about this. But now it's, kind of, eye opening to see if it's true or not. An impression, using artificial intelligence to process some of this monologue. What are the implications here? It erases any gray area, painting Nosy as irredeemably evil and therefore unworthy of dignity. This is emotionally manipulative and dangerous when shared with impressionable audiences. And we know that on this platform, she has an audience, very impressionable audience at that time. Mhm. She was new to the platform. Okay. A lot of people were watching and listening to this. I go on with AI. Absolutism and Black respectability. So there's a deep undercurrent of respectability politics here. This is what AI is saying. Danny repeatedly references Nosy's alleged ex work and contrasts that with her own education and professionalism. She implies that because Nosy is quote unquote trashy and unprofessional, quote unquote, she has no right to speak about other Black women or claim solidarity with them. What does that mean? What's the implication? Well, it plays into harmful tropes that only certain types of Black women deserve protection or a voice, and demonizes others based on class, appearance, or professionalism. Is the chat moving? Let's make sure it's moving. Okay. Let me know that you can hear me before I go on. Give me a thumbs up. We are live right now on Facebook, Instagram, X, and here on YouTube. Okay. Let's go on with this monologue. Analysis by artificial intelligence. Talking about the video where Nosy Ho Live is, speaking on the Costco girl. Okay. And here, Danielle is talking about Nosy Ho Live. And why she thinks the video that Nosy Ho Live, or her interest in Costco Girl, is simply for viral, to make a viral video and to profit off of it, to gain subscribers, etc. Okay. So, what is the final analysis in this one piece of monologue? Projection and obsession. Ironically, this is AI says, ironically, Danny's tirade closely mirrors what she accuses Nosy Ho Live of. 1. Using emotional rhetoric to stir anger and loyalty from followers. Publicly naming people and accusing them of serious wrongdoing without due process. Reacting obsessively to content that involves her or her allies. She tries to wrap her anger in justice, but what shines through most is personal revenge or vengeance. It's interesting, the modifier here is personal vengeance. I didn't type this in. Now, you can believe me or not. It's up to you, but I will show you the receipts. Artificial intelligence says in this monologue, what shines through most is personal vengeance. I have said that this was personal. She has said that she came because of vengeance. It would have to be personal, right? Especially the way she's speaking and talking and things that happen in that 6 to 8 week period from the time that she came to YouTube and the time that Nosy Ho Live's channel was taken down. Now, wouldn't it be interesting to have artificial intelligence look at some of, let's say, the David Johnson letter or others who made lengthy comments and or videos? Because see, what AI has the ability to do, and I mean, I don't even know to what extent, is to parse it and just spit it out, process it. Unbiased. Why would artificial intelligence lean one way or the other? If you put in, if your input into it is just the way that it's, just the way that the text is there. Also, building, because artificial intelligence can remember in sequence the history of the story and how it developed. So, wouldn't it be interesting to now go back with artificial intelligence and process some of these key receipts and archived videos? things that have been, deleted. Mhm. Because people just take everything at face value. I could process my own things that I've said. And there might be some things in there that come out. Yeah. That would be very interesting, I think. But again, just there, what shined through is that Daniel just wrapped her anger in justice. So she justifies her behavior and the things that she does against individuals. Her anger, she she deems herself justified. Mhm. That people that she goes after, or she's justified in doing that. I wonder if AI would see that as justification and see her as smart as she says that she is. Maybe it might solve, some breadcrumbs too. Yeah. Let me go on because it gets a little better. And we're just talking about one section in order, not chopping and screwing as she likes to think I did, with the interrogation. Oh, that would be an interesting one to put through, wouldn't it be? The interrogation of Daniel Elizabeth. Mm. What would be interesting to put through? The conversation when Monique Tolbert came onto the platform with Nosy Whole Live and so debonair, because this is part of that story, the beginning. I wonder, what would artificial intelligence say about Monique Tolbert's responses to Nosy Whole Life, or conversely, how Nosy Whole Life and or So Debonair responded. And then process the justification or what Danielle said afterwards. You see where we can go with this? Hmm. Hmm. So let's do a cross reference, shall we? I ask artificial intelligence on this just to cross reference some inconsistencies and contradictions. Mhm. I also put in some previous monologue as, you know, some references. Mhm. But again, let's just do some cross references with the Costco girl / clout chaser rant with Danielle's other statements, including those analyzed earlier. Mm. So here the goal is to reveal logical contradictions, hypocrisy, emotional inconsistencies, or projection that weaken her, Danielle, credibility or suggest double standards. again, I'm just, this is for education. This is for our learning. I mean, artificial intelligence, we didn't talk about it a few years back. I didn't. And I still don't know what the possibilities are, what exists, and how it could help me on my platform. Okay? And my commentary. All right, so let's take this first cross-reference inconsistency and contradiction. 1, quote unquote, I'm karma versus, so on the one side, you've got Danielle who says I'm karma versus Nosy Whole Live, obsessed and projecting. Okay, so in an earlier statement, by the way, that I haven't shown you, because I also ran the monologue of the Hands, the mob's wife, and her justification, her analysis of Nosy Whole Life, when she talked about Monique Tolbert possibly being the Hands. All right. So in that, she used statements like, not like a crazy stalker would do, aka Nosy Carol, on live stream. And then I commented, I'm karma, that's my name. And then later statement in the Costco girl attack, she says, I'm your worst enemy, and that's facts. You effed with the wrong person. What goes around comes around, hunty. There's a red flag here, contradiction. Danny mocks Nosy for being obsessive and dramatic while literally calling herself karma and Nosy's worst enemy. This reflects deep emotional investment and implies Danny sees herself as a vigilante or punisher, precisely the kind of behavior she ridicules in others. Shall we pause? It's not. Look, I'm just simply thinking of a way to go through these videos, give commentary, fair use commentary, make it educational, entertaining, criticism. So AI, Cups of Conversation, says not calling her a stalker and end up being one. Let's go to the next contradiction, shall we? 2, quote unquote, Nosy projects and exploits versus Danny's own public retaliation. So in an earlier statement, and let's just say in the style of the psychoanalysis, we'll call it the Lily style. Okay. Quote, she exemplifies classy projection and misattributes her actions, unwilling to cultivate an independent identity, relies on others' reputation. Later in a statement, Costco girl rant, she says, Danielle, I'm very educated. I will not allow a $2 race play hooker to ruin my accomplishments. You got what you deserved. Contradiction. Red flag. Danny projects her own retaliatory obsession onto Nosy. If Nosy has trouble cultivating an identity outside controversy, Danny is also showing parasocial fixation by making Nosy the centerpiece of her content, her public vendetta, and her self perceived righteousness. I didn't come up with the red flags. I didn't. This is AI, artificial intelligence. Oh, you don't believe me? Okay, hang on. Hang on. Let me just let's put up a cover while I just pull over just a little portion of it. AI, so you can see it. What I'm reading from. Hang on. Let's see. I saved it. So recall what I did with Lenore. There it is. You see that red contradiction? X, boom. Danny projects her own retaliatory obsession onto Nosy. If Nosy has trouble cultivating an identity outside controversy, Danny is also showing parasocial fixation by making Nosy the centerpiece of her content, her public vendetta, and her self perceived righteousness. Uh, Rip Running Receipts. Subscribe to Rip Running Receipts. Subscribe to this channel because, interestingly enough, Unwind with Teddy for the entire 3.5 months, I have not gained one subscriber. Last year, this same time, I had gained over 250 subscribers. I was on track to hit 5,000 subscribers well before September. And notably, each day for the last month and a half, I've lost one subscriber. It's magical. I don't know what to make of it. I simply don't know what to make of it. Let's continue, okay? Looking at these inconsistencies and contradictions according to artificial intelligence. Okay? Number 3, Nosy used a story for clout, quote unquote. This is one, versus Danny's own self-promotion and public feuds. In an earlier statement, she used hashtag Costco Girl to beg for subscribers, referring to Nosy Whole Live. What does that have to do with her channel, quote unquote? So this is what Danielle said. She used Costco Girl to beg for subscribers. What does that have to do with her channel? Counter evidence. Danny herself has posted YouTube videos centered on Nosy and other influencers. Inserted herself into public drama for visibility. Tagged people, posted timestamps and titled videos to attract clicks related to hot topics, i.e., Monica, mob wives, nosy, etc., etc., etc. Now, fast forward. That was just then. Who does she lead with on her videos, in her titles? It's Jaguar Wright. But she talks about others who, put up hashtags and that for clicks and views and clout. Now, this was then. I'm talking about, AI is talking about then. We could process some things through. And as AI builds the history, ooh, what a history it would be. Let's go on. Contradiction. Danny decries Nosy's monetization of drama as clout chasing, but engages in the same behavior with content centered on nosy or viral stories. If Nosy's tweets were distasteful, so are Danny's similarly promotional content drops and live stream engagement. Where is I need like a sound bite, like a horn or something. But I'm going to, just try to stay unbiased and read the comments and, from AI. It's interesting, isn't it? Well, I have to find another word for interesting. Intriguing. There's so many other words I could use. But what I'm doing tonight is giving you an example of how we can analyze these videos. How we can look back. Now, people said, I don't want to look back at 2021. Well, let's let AI look back. And it can be one listener. But we can just, just experiment. Let's see what AI thinks, Yeah. All right, let's go to another one, shall we? Contradiction. You mean there would be a contradiction? Oh, come on. Number 4. Danielle says, quote unquote, she harassed Black women versus Danielle's own insults toward a Black woman. In a later statement, quote, Nosy is a self-hating Black woman, a $2 race play hooker. I hope YouTube doesn't restore her channel. You're of the devil. Red flag contradiction. While claiming to be an advocate for protecting Black women, Danny uses misogyny or misogynor, respectably politics, and a sex X work shaming against a Black woman. Her rhetoric is arguably more dehumanizing than anything she accuses Nosy Whole Live of. Now I could read something else that parallels with that, But boy, would that be stepping on something. I'll just say someone else has a shared framework of hypocrisy dressed up as empowerment. Who can you think of that hurled insults toward a black woman to demoralize or dehumanize in the same way that Danielle did, such that they would share a commonality or framework of hypocrisy dressed up as empowerment? I don't have to say, just think. Number 5, quote, Danielle says, she shouldn't speak without evidence versus Danielle's vague accusations. Again, this is artificial intelligence. In an earlier claim, quote, she says, if you can't provide real concrete evidence of your assumptions, then keep your lips sealed. This is what Daniel said in this video. Later accusations would come. You harass dozens of women across the U.S., including children, friends, church members. Someone who loves those women, listen carefully, decided to teach you a lesson. Wow. Did AI pick up on that? Did AI pick up on that? Again, it was just her words, nothing else. Her monologue, part of her video. Again, listen to this later accusation where Danielle said to Nosy Ho Live, you harass dozens of women across the U.S., including children, friends, church members. Someone who loves those women decided to teach you a lesson. Contradiction, another red flag. Danny provides zero evidence to back these sweeping claims and implies retaliation was warranted. Justified. Her vague justifications, quote, maybe someone got revenge, unquote, both accuse and excuse without proof, violating her own rule about not making serious allegations without receipts. Let's go into number 6. Again, we are looking at inconsistencies and contradictions and cross-referencing with things that Danielle said and things that she herself in her own behavior. It seems that AI has found some things. Okay. 6, she says, you have nothing to lose, but I do. Versus her own online behavior. Again, you have nothing to lose, but I do, versus her online behavior. Statement, you have nothing to lose, but I do. Years of education professional success. Contradiction, red flag. If Danny values her professional reputation, her public tirades full of insults, profanity, and dehumanizing comments directly undermine her credibility. She jeopardizes her standing through emotional retaliation, exactly the behavior she condemns in Nosy Whole Life. But again, how does she do this? Or why? She's anonymous. Although she's saying to Nosy Whole Life here, you have nothing to lose. I do, but I do. I have years of education. Oh, she said it in this video. I'm quoting. Years of education, professional success. Hmm. So again, AI, artificial intelligence says, well, Danielle, if you value your professional reputation, your videos are full of insults, public tirades, profanity, and dehumanizing comments. That undermines your credibility and jeopardizes your standing through emotional retaliation. Exactly the behavior that you condemned in Nosy Whole Life. You see, nobody has said this to her. A few have. But this time it's AI. So process it. Debunk AI. Okay. So what's the conclusion? Self-contradictory rhetoric and mirror behavior is what AI has concluded just in this brief example and monologue. What, it's like on one side, maybe I can just show you this ledger, or maybe I won't. Okay. Or maybe I will, so you can see it. Hang on. Yeah, why not? Because some people don't believe me, but well. It's called Rip Running Receipts. This time it's utilizing, technology, AI. Yeah, this may be the future, or it is the future of helping, people who write, journalists, all kinds of. It just is endless what AI can do. Let's see here. I'm going to make a quick copy. And yes, go ahead, process minds. Put them up. Make sure you say Unwind with Teddy. Yeah. Okay. Let me put this up here, guys. This screenshot. I'm looking at it and kind of like, wow. So, what Danny claims Nosy does on the left side, and what Danny herself does. First, clout chasing, she's accusing her through controversy. What Danny herself does, monetizes content with Nosy's name and stories. Obsession with enemies. This is what Danny claims Nosy does. What Danny herself does. Calls herself Karma and Nosy's worst enemy. Accuses Nosy whole life of harassing black women. What Danny herself does. Shames, insults, and degrades another black woman. What she claims Nosy does. Spreading false claims. What Danny does herself. Make sweeping allegations with no evidence. What she claims Nosy does. Lacks identity outside drama. What Danny herself does. Frames her entire online persona around opposition to Nosy. Again, we're looking back at 2021, just one portion of one of her videos, okay? And then finally, what Danny claims Nosy does, plays the victim. What Danny herself does, declares moral superiority while admitting to retaliation. Let's put the comments up. Here we go. I think there's something to be said about this. You know, anyone can process videos, process mine. Just like they are. You know, put it through exactly what I said. And I think I'll do that too. Yeah. Maybe I should process the video. Wow. Now that would be some interesting video to process. Remember when Danielle first put out that single black female video? Called me the single black female. Wow. You know, a lot of those deleted videos that I have. Scorched Earth. Maybe there will be some clues in there. But I'm just working on Nosy Whole Lives videos right now. But we might, we might skip around. And as a matter of fact, you might have a request. Maybe you want feedback from AI, or you can put it through yourself, or maybe you can email me not only something that Danielle said in a video as a way to give commentary, but maybe we can look inside some other key players during that same period. I wonder how interesting it would be to process that video where Black Rabbit had Marcella and Sunny, Sunny on the panel, and Marcella was answering some questions, one right after the other, from Black Rabbit. There's just so much. But shouldn't we do the one, the initial one with Monique Tobert? Especially, like, just take a few passages, portions of the video where things seem questionable. Yeah. You see, AI won't hear the emotion, will not hear the inflection, but the words. You see, artificial intelligence is smart, very, very wickedly smart enough to know that even the choice of words that are used, how they are used, is just phenomenal. What the meaning of it is, the context of it all. Like in lightning speed, can compare it to different dialects, languages, meanings. Look for contradictions. Yes, look for loopholes. Maybe like potholes. Again, we must, say as a disclaimer, it's for education, criticism, news reporting, entertainment purposes, fair use commentary. Is it foolproof? AI can make mistakes too, so I've been told. But at least what it does is can strike up some conversations and pick up some things that we may have missed. An interpretation. It'll be interesting process. Danielle's initial reaction to when I first brought out that interrogation and started talking about Danielle Elizabeth Allen. And when she came to the mic and said, "It's not me, it's not me, it's not me," and all of the things that she said, there's a lot of things she said, just reaction immediately. I wonder what AI would say about that. Just endless possibilities. What would AI say about me? Ooh. Logic or not. You see, I'm open for criticism. Mm-hmm. Again, this was just one example. Another example of how I can now go back and look at some things that I, one, did not look at, two, I missed, Mhm. Get, um, I'll just say, an analytical, unbiased opinion. Mhm. Because what I'm going to put in is exactly what someone said. And give AI enough context, enough, not just, a little phrase, the before and after. Because AI is pretty smart. You know what AI will do? AI will ask you for more information if it doesn't have enough. Yeah. Yeah, if it's not clear, yeah, even AI will shout back, push back. Hmm. Wow. You see how fast that hour and 23 minutes went tonight? Mhm. Again, we are live on, let's see what happened to Instagram. Okay. I think Instagram ended. Let's see. Let me discard the video. Yeah, it ends after an hour. Okay. So if you're on Instagram, come on over or go over to Facebook, X, or here on YouTube. Now, I mentioned something station head. Because we've got to get these receipts out. You need to hear this. You can't just rely on me saying X, Y, and Z, can you? Because people say Teddy doesn't have receipts. Yeah. It's almost 11 o'clock, guys. Yeah. See, I finished up early. You can follow me on, Instagram, Facebook, Station Head, X, Twitch, and Discord. Again, what I've been doing is taking a look back at some of these videos with a little different approach, looking for things that we miss, looking for and listening to things that I've never heard, hmm looking for contradictions, looking for truth, mhm, looking for justification or not, looking at behavior, especially since, someone always talks about behavior. Mhm. Let's make it different. Nobody's doing this. So when people say I copy, no. Mm-mm. I come up with ideas too. Yeah. Biggest bear hugs go out to each and one of every one of the grizzlies and honey bears. Um, Maybe I can join you for mocha in the morning. You can email me at unwinewithteddy@gmail.com. You can give me a thumbs up or you can give me a thumbs down. You can say, I don't like this. It's unfair. Whatever you want to say. I don't like commentary using, AI. It's faulty. Okay. I give some of my own commentary and I tell you when I am using AI. All right. To my moderators, Vicky Black and Baby Juju, I see you out there. Thanks so much for supporting this channel and all of the mom, your bear friends. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And for those of you over on X, Instagram, and Facebook. I think that will do it for me for one night. Yeah, I could talk about more, but why don't you try this? See how it goes. That's it for me. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Teddy. Have a great Tuesday night and a great, good rest. Peaceful sleep. That's right. Here we go.